Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This time, I want to discuss Universal Epic Universe, the brand new theme park opening on May 22nd of this year. So let's just jump right into this. This video is going to be a mix of live videos, animated videos, and pictures, as we don't have much footage, if any footage, from inside the park yet. This video was created in mid-February of 2025, and the park is opening less than 100 days, so some new ticket options or other information may be available by the time this video comes out. If you don't know what Epic Universe is, it's Universal's fourth theme park that they are building in Orlando. The park is claimed to be the most groundbreaking and technologically advanced park to open ever. The park will be located just a couple miles south of the existing Universal complex that I would call Site A. The new Site B contains the park as well as 3 new hotels. The first hotel to open was Stella Nova, and it opened on January 21st of 2025. To some mixed reviews. The hotel's exterior looks beautiful, and the Starbridge hallway on the 3rd floor looks cool too. The rooms look nice, and the food I've heard is decent. Then the sister hotel, Terra Luna, is opening on March 25th, 2025. The final hotel we'll get to momentarily. The park itself will contain 5 themed lands. Super Nintendo World, that will contain larger versions of the Mushroom Kingdom and Donkey Kong Country lands located in Japan. Dark Universe, a land themed to the Universal classic monsters that is set in the fictional village of Darkmoor. Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic, which is a land in Wizarding Paris in the 1920s, and the main ride is set in 1990s British Ministry. How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk, is going to be Berk 2.5, set in between How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3. And finally, we have the hub that ties it all together, called Celestial Park, that is a world between worlds. The main bulk of this video is going to be discussing the 5 themed areas of the park. Let's start in Celestial Park. The story goes that the Kronos Tower, the park's central icon, is what powers Celestial Park and its portals by drawing power from the universe. This park area was described as being the connective tissue of the 4 worlds that is lived in and maintained by the Celestians, which makes me think there will be meet and greets and walk around characters. Universal's tagline for this was putting the park back in theme park. This land will be completely IP free with 26 gardens and feature 3 major attractions. The first is a splash pad called Astronomica that is themed as a compass rose with its own soundtrack and fountains that can be synced to music and other fountains. The next attraction is Constellation Carousel. This is going to be a flat ride that sits in the middle of one of the lagoons of Celestial Park. The carousel's domes feature stained glass-like windows, and inside is a menagerie of what appear to be crystal-like creatures representing the different constellations. We know from concept art, aerial photos, and even the creative team member confirmation that this will not be a traditional carousel, but will feature rotating tables essentially within the main rotating portion, and then the ride vehicles themselves can rotate and lift vertically 6 feet up. The ride will contain 8 different tracks, and one of the creative team members said it's like a bejeweled music box. The ride system is like a cross between Alien Swirling Saucers or Mater's Junkyard Jamboree at the Disney parks and a traditional carousel like the Carousel on Islands of Adventure. Finally, we have Stardust Racers. This is a massive mock dual-tracked multi-launch coaster. The ride will stretch over 5,000 feet long per track, reaching a height of 133 feet and a top speed of 62 miles per hour. The ride will only have a height requirement of 48 inches. The ride's signature element will be called the Celestial Spin, and features one track with an upward roll into a top hat drop, and the other track will have a traditional top hat ascent with a barrel roll down drop. The rest of the layout looks packed with airtime hills of many varieties and some snappy looking turns. The trains look absolutely stunning with their lighting effects, plus Mach makes some of the most comfortable coaster trains I've ever experienced. The story of the ride is that the Celestians have figured out how to ride on the backs of comets, and now you can too. I've recently seen that trims have been installed on the ride, but after listening to a few videos talking about them, it appears that they won't affect the ride too badly and are a necessary evil. The land is also advertised to have two significant shows. The first is a massive fountain show that takes place in the lagoon with the fountains that can reach heights above the Helios Grand Hotel and will be called Cosmos. I believe this will be part of their nighttime spectacular that will also include fireworks that were just seen testing the night before I recorded this. Then there will be a show when the park transitions from day to night. This will correlate with two statues present in the land. Luna at the Luna Overlook near the entrance to the park, and Apollo near the Helios Hotel. The story goes that Apollo is the god of the sun, and he ensures the day is bright. And when dusk begins to fall, the baton is passed to Luna, who keeps the night clear. This is going to be a ceremony with a spectacular musical score as the lights slowly build into a swell, and by the time the sun sets, everything will be lit, and the music in general in this land is just claimed to be the most custom music Universal has ever commissioned. Then we have the dining options as follows: Atlantique, Blue Dragon Pan Asian, the Oak and Star Tavern, Pizza Moon, Meteor Astro Pub, the Plastered Owl Bar, Star Sui Bao, Frosty Moon, Comet Dogs, Celestiki, and Bar Zenith. Celestial Park has a plethora of dining options, and we have had some options as well as menus released at this point. Atlantique is a fish restaurant with a Victorian theme that will have a sea bass option, a Romesco Romanesco dish, a vegan oyster mushroom ceviche, a landlubber's snickerdoodle loot, which is a cute kids dessert, and drinks that include a Grand Atlantic Martini and the Northern Lights Martini. Blue Dragon Pan Asian is themed as an Asian street market with flavors from China, Japan, Korea, and South Asia that will serve a tonkatsu ramen and small plates that include smashed cucumbers and snowflake pot stickers that are both served with dragon sauce. For dessert, there's a passion fruit mooncake, which is a cheesecake filled hand pie. For drinks, there is the Chengdu Dream, which is fruity and spicy, and a Kaosan Boba, which is a milk tea drink with coffee boba. The Oak and Star Tavern has had a near full menu released with both breakfast and lunch. An item on the breakfast menu that stands out to me is the Brulee Hawaiian Mango Bread, which is mango bread, pineapple, strawberry, whipped cream, toasted coconut. Then on the lunch menu, we have a handful of platters where you can select from a range of meats and a side. The meats include 14-hour smoked brisket, St. Louis ribs, banana leaf pulled pork, cheddar jalapeno sausage, and spit roasted herb chicken. The sides have not yet been shown, but from pictures I can see fries, baked beans, a mango bread, mac and cheese, and roasted cauliflower. There will also be sandwiches and salads, plus of course desserts, such as banana pudding, and then of course the drinks. Then we have Pizza Moon, obviously a pizza place, themed like an old style theater. It has a pizza called the Trip to Vesuvio, with a variety of meats and peppers. Also, it will have traditional cheese and pepperoni pizzas, a pizza called the Space Cowboy with barbecue sauce, chicken, and potato chips, the Giant Mushroom, and the Pizza Lunar. They will also serve pasta dishes like the Rigatoni Meteor Melt, and salads, like one called the Rocket Fuel. Then we have a dessert called the Brownie Eclipse. Celestiki is obviously a tiki bar in Celestial Park. It has a Wateri punch drink that is inspired by Volcano Bay, and frozen drinks like the frozen mudslide, frozen pina colada, and Kanuku Daiquiri mocktail. The Plastered Owl Bar that is centered in the middle of the Oak and Star Tavern will have a drink called the Plastered Owl that is a dark rye whiskey beverage muddled with cherry. Meteor Astro Pub will be a gastropub with a celestial twist and feature the Meteor Burger that promises to be meatier than any other burger. In front of Meteor will be Bar Zenith with mixed drinks like the Meteor Strike drink, Meridian Bramble, the Cosmopolitan, and the Star Garita. The Star Sui Bao Cart will serve Asian-inspired snacks near Stardust Racers. Comet dogs will serve both traditional hot dogs and unique ones, like the carrot vegan dog that will replace a traditional hot dog with a roasted carrot, as well as the Cosmic Cones ice cream cart. These menus and options could change later, and more will be announced and expanded upon at a later date, and this goes for every land. Celestial Park is really a beautiful looking land with lush greenery and many areas to explore. The attractions all look fun, but my most anticipated in the whole park is by far Stardust Racers, because the ride just looks to pace very well and be chock full of airtime. The food all looks amazing, and I can't wait to try a bunch of it. The land just looks great and is probably my third most anticipated in the park. Before we head on to the other lands, let's discuss the Helios Grand Hotel. This is a massive hotel connected to the back of Epic Universe, allowing guests staying there to have their own entrance into the park. The hotel will have a range of rooms from standard up to a very fancy club level rooms and cute How to Train Your Dragon kid suites. The hotel will feature 4 different dining options with a variety of food at each one, such as charred octopus, tomato and burrata salad, shish kebabs, a whole branzino fish option, among others. The hotel will of course have a pool and the other amenities of a Universal hotel, such as an arcade and fitness room. Guests staying here at Stella Nova or at Terra Luna will have early park admission to all of Super Nintendo World and Stardust Racers. This hotel looks beautiful, but expensive. Then we have Super Nintendo World. There are 2 sections to this land, with the Mushroom Kingdom area being the main portion, and then Donkey Kong Country being the mini land in the back. This Nintendo World is a larger version of the one in Japan, it appears. Starting in the Mushroom Kingdom, we have 2 rides. We have Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This is the same ride as Hollywood in Japan and utilizes a mix of practical, screen, and projection effects overlaid with augmented reality goggles coupled with a gaming steering wheel system connected to the ride vehicle to give riders the feeling of being in a Mario Kart level. The facade is a massive recreation of Bowser's Fortress, and the queue is a trip through his fortress before you end up boarding the ride vehicle. The second attraction is called Yoshi's Adventure. This is a family Omni-Mover style dark ride where riders board into Yoshi's and take a trip around the Mushroom Kingdom, while looking out for multicolored Yoshi eggs. With many outdoor animatronics and a handful of indoor show scenes, the ride allows guests to get super close to many of the animatronics visible from the land below. In addition to the 2 attractions in the land, there are also many interactive areas and challenges to complete. In order to complete these challenges, guests must first purchase a power-up band that costs about $50. There are many varieties of characters, from Mario to Yoshi to Donkey Kong. There are many question mark blocks scattered around that guests can punch to earn coins. There are also hidden digital badges and stickers guests can collect throughout the land. Then there are the key challenges. By completing 3 or more of them, you gain access to a boss battle type of experience where you get to battle Bowser Jr. in Bowser Jr.'s Shadow Showdown that can be seen in Universal Studios Hollywood. There are 5 key challenges that you can complete. All 5 are currently in operation at Universal Studios Japan, and 3, I believe, are in operation at Universal Hollywood. Currently in both are the Goomba Crazy Crank, Piranha Plant Nap Mishap, and Koopa Troopa Power Punch. Then the 2 that are only in Japan currently are the Babam Kaboom Room and Thwomp Panel Panic. All 5 will be available for guests upon the opening of Epic Universe. The Mushroom Kingdom has a variety of restaurants, including the Toadstool Cafe, which features a combination of items from Hollywood and Japan. For entrees, we have the Mario Burger, which is an all-beef patty, bacon, mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, and American cheese served on a brioche bun with a side of truffle fries. The Luigi Burger, which has grilled chicken, basil pesto, Swiss cheese, green pepper, and spinach, served on a brioche bun with a side of truffle fries. Bowser's Fireball Challenge is a 1-pound meatball topped with mozzarella cheese, served with mushroom marinara sauce, Bowser puff pastry, and hot sauce served on the side. The Fire Flower Spaghetti and Meatballs is spaghetti with mushroom marinara sauce, meatballs, Fire Flower Parmesan crisp, shaved Parmesan, and chopped parsley. There is the Super Mushroom Pizza Bowl, which has mozzarella, sausage, pepperoni, and mushroom marinara sauce, topped with a Super Mushroom Pizza crust. And finally, the Chef Toad Herb Chicken Special, which has herb marinated chicken, Parmesan crusted potatoes, roasted tomatoes, and a Meyer lemon brulee blanc. For starters, soups, and salads, we have the super mushroom soup, that is creamy mushroom soup with super mushroom crackers, the toadstool cheesy garlic knots, which are mini mushroom-shaped garlic knots, brushed with garlic butter, Parmesan cheese, parsley, and a side of marinara sauce. The piranha plant caprese salad that has tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, asparagus, and basil pesto, served with mixed greens, shaved radish, and apple vinaigrette. And finally, the superstar chicken salad that has romaine and cabbage mix, grape tomatoes, and mushrooms tossed in a creamy mushroom truffle dressing topped with Parmesan superstar croutons and grilled chicken. Finally, we have the drinks and desserts, which are the question mark block tiramisu, which is tiramisu layered with coffee-soaked lady fingers, topped with vanilla and strawberry layered cake covered in a matcha mousse. Then there's Princess Peach's birthday cake, that is a yellow cake and whipped topping with raspberries, mango, sprinkles, and is topped with star chocolates and a star cookie with a Princess Peach cookie. This should probably serve about 2 to 3 people. And finally, we have the Superstar Lemon Squash, which is honey lemon soda with mango stars and assorted tropical bobas. There are also 2 items on the kids menu, that is a mini version of the Mario Burger and a smaller and probably less spicy version of the Fire Flower Spaghetti. Another quick service window option is Yoshi Snack Island, which features a red shell calzone that is Italian meat and green shell calzone that is vegan, as well as smoothies like an apple melon one or a mango one. Finally is Turbo Boost Treats, which will feature a variety of popcorn options. The land will also feature meet and greet options with Mario, Luigi, Peach, and probably Toad, as well as 2 gift shops, Mario Motors and the 1-Up Factory, both similar to Japan. Then we have Donkey Kong Country. This is obviously the land where Donkey Kong lives and features the Minecart Madness roller coaster. This is also present in Universal Japan and features a new system that Universal engineered with a fake track above and real track hidden below to make it appear as if the minecart is jumping across gaps in the track while you are helping Donkey Kong track down the golden banana. The land has a few small interactive challenges and a large team one where players bang on drums to a rhythm, and if they complete it properly, they get a special appearance from Romby the Rhino. The land will feature the Bubbly Barrel, which has a DK Crush float flavored with banana and probably comes in a souvenir barrel mug. And there is a shop called Funky's Flying By. This land as a whole looks amazing to explore, with many interactive areas and bright visuals. The Babam Challenge is the one I want to do the most, and Yoshi's Adventure is probably my most anticipated attraction, because Mario Kart looks kind of choppy with the AR, and Minecart Madness looks like a cute ride, but the POVs don't look very convincing. The food looks both fun and delicious at every one of the locations. Overall, the land looks fun and cute, but it's lower on my list because the other lands are things we've never seen before, and we've seen very similar ones to this in Hollywood and Japan. Next up is Dark Universe. This land is set in the fictional village of Darkmoor, where the Universal monsters currently take up residence. The land is powered by the same electricity that brought Frankenstein's monster to life, and can be seen pulsing throughout. Contained within the village of Darkmoor are 2 major attractions. The first is the Curse of the Werewolf family spinning coaster from Mach Rides. The ride will reach a top speed of 37 miles per hour and has 2 launch sections. But the second is a multipass swing launch, so the ride technically has 4 launches. Obviously the ride is a spinning coaster, and this element should add good dynamics to the ride as well as visuals, and will make it so the ride experience is unique every time you ride it. The trains should be super comfortable, being Mach trains, and they have good theming too. The entrance sign looks wicked cool as well, and I'm curious to find out what's in the shed. The story goes that you have found a band of mystics with an all-knowing seer named Maleva as their leader, who tells you that you bear the mark of the werewolf. You will then have to escape the gnashing claws of the werewolves while riding on the coaster. The second attraction is Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. This will utilize the same ride system as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and is said to be one of the most frightening and thrilling attractions Universal has ever developed. For the story, you enter the now decrepit Frankenstein Manor as you have been invited by Victoria Frankenstein, the great-great-granddaughter of Henry Frankenstein, who has been working on a device to control every monster and return the village to a more cheerful state. Along with her experiments on monster control, she has also created a new Frankenstein monster. The demonstration she has invited you to see is her controlling Dracula, who is supposed to be the strongest of the monsters, and of course, things go wrong. You then have to escape the manor through the catacombs while being chased by Dracula's brides, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Phantom of the Opera, and more, all while Victoria, Igor, and Frankenstein are trying to stop them. But who is actually the villains in this ride? And who are the heroes? Then we have 2 experiences within the land that are for guests of all ages. The first are a set of meet and greets with the Universal monsters, such as Frankenstein and his bride, Igor, and the Invisible Man, as well as monster hunters and a roaming musician. The other is the Darkmoor Monster Makeover experience that could be found in the Five and Dime at Universal Studios for a few months. This was and will be similar to Disney's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique experience with face paint for certain, and possibly even costumes for kids. More details should soon be revealed about pricing and packages for the experience. Within the village of Darkmoor, there will be 3 options for dining. The first is DeLacy's Cottage, which is a quick service location that is located near Monsters Unchained and will serve cinnamon bites, pretzels, and more. Then we have the Burning Blade Tavern. This is another quick service restaurant that will be more like a bar location, with the only confirmed item being a Monster Hunter garlic steak, which is a cheesy pretzel with garlic dipping sauce. The tavern is said to be a popular hangout spot for monster hunters, where they will exchange stories and display their trophies. The windmill on top of the establishment will burst into flames about every 20 minutes or so, and this is from this scene from the Frankenstein movies. The final dining option is Doss Steakhouse. This is another quick-serve dining establishment, but appears to be similar to something like Minion Cafe, where mobile order is highly promoted, but there is a small counter for people who want to order traditionally. The restaurant is themed as an old inn and dining hall that is built over the old catacombs, and is run by the vampire familiars. The restaurant will serve steaks, as in meat on sticks. One is called Bird on a Steak and is herb roasted chicken. One is called Fish on a Steak and is blackened salmon. And one is called Bits and Pieces. This is a wild mushroom and brisket meatloaf. There will also be a steak and char siu bao pork that will be served with red sauce on them to look like blood. Other options will include the blood orange chicken sandwich, the Darkmoor black wings, the vegan familiars stuffed cabbage, and for dessert, there will be a red velvet shaped coffin and a vanilla panna cotta shaped like a brain. One drink announced is the Reaper's Reserve, which will be a caramel spiced brown ale. The land as a whole just looks phenomenal. The dark and creepy details throughout the village, with the graveyard at the entrance into the creepy village streets, the massive manor looming over the village for the absolutely phenomenal looking Monsters Unchained ride. I mean, that ride alone just looks like a technological marvel with some of the most advanced and fastest animatronics anyone has ever created. And the fact that their motions were based off of mocap people just make them all the more realistic. The fact that we will have an all-year horror attraction just makes me so excited for this ride. And this is probably my second most anticipated attraction behind Stardust Racers. Curse of the Werewolf looks like a unique and fun spinning coaster with some awesome theming mid-ride. The food looks delicious too, and I love some of the names like Bits and Pieces. Honestly, this is my most anticipated land of the entire park because it just looks awesome. Next up, we have Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic. The land itself features Place Cachets during the 1920s, from The Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Place Cachet is the fictional wizarding version of Paris that is shrouded in charms. Once you pass through the portal, you will see a massive Parisian phoenix arch that enters you into the Parisian street. The street will be lined with shops and restaurants that we will get to momentarily. There are again 2 major attractions in this land. The first is a stage show called Les Cirques Arcanus that can be seen in the Crimes of Grindelwald movie. The basic premise of the show is Skender, the ringmaster, is looking to bring the show back to its former glory, and in doing so he has stolen Newt Scamander's case. He plans to use the beast within the case to make his show great again, but his squib assistant Gwendolyn doesn't like how he treats the beast. So she, along with Newt, are going to work together to free the case from Skender's clutches. This show will use a combination of practical sets, aerialists, puppets, special effects, and illusions to bring the creatures to life. Besides Skender, Scamander, and Gwendolyn, some of the magical creatures that will be showcased are Demiguise, a Zowu, a Kelpie, Mooncalves, among others. The second attraction is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. This is supposed to be another state-of-the-art dark ride for the Potter areas. You will be traveling from 1920s Paris to 1990s London, just after the major battle of Hogwarts and downfall of Voldemort. The Ministry has been reconstructed after the disaster during Voldemort's reign, and Dolores Umbridge is set to stand trial. You are there to view that trial, so you board the elevator lifts to get to the courtrooms. And then, of course, all heck breaks loose. And Umbridge, along with the Death Eaters, Yaxley, Carol, and McNair, escape the Ministry's confinement with the mission of repairing a broken time turner and restoring Voldemort to power. So, we are then recruited by Harry, Ron, and Hermione, as well as the new house elf, Higgledy, to recapture Umbridge. Throughout the ride, we will get to see different departments of the Ministry as well as fantastic beasts. The queue is supposed to be spectacular, similar to Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. The queue is set to be a complete recreation of the British Ministry from the films, with the main atrium being the big reveal, along with Umbridge's office, the reception area, amongst other things. Then we have multiple gift shops within the land. The first is going to be at the exit of the Ministry of Magic ride and is called Tour on Flu, which is supposed to be a travel shop / agency that uses the Flu network to get people around the world. This will feature a variety of merch, including a new Auror clothing line. Next up is Cosme Acajor Baguettes Magiques, which is the French wand shop. The shop will have new, unique wands in a more refined style, and the shop as a whole will have a more refined and clean feel, whereas Ollivander's is a haphazard shop representing the hustle and bustle of Diagon Alley and just the British wizarding world as a whole, whereas Cosme's shop is meant to represent the refined stereotype of Paris in general. The shop will have British import wands, which I take to mean character wands. Another shop that is confirmed is a candy shop. Of course, within the land we will have a variety of interactive wand experiences, with the concept art showing a Niffler as one of them. These elements should be a newer and more updated system of detection for the wands that should work better than the older ones. We apparently will also be able to experience a variety of meet and greets, possibly with both Hogwarts students and students from other wizarding schools. Then we have the dining options, with Café L'Air de la Serene, that will have a butterbeer crepe, which is a crepe filled with shortbread cookie butter, Bavarian cream, butterbeer cream, and topped with fresh strawberries, butterbeer drizzle, and a butterbeer shortbread cookie. There will also be a baguette de dinde, which is filled with sliced cracked black pepper turkey, piled high with arugula, crisp apples, creamy brie, topped with a warm baguette with a zesty mustard butter and apple butter. And finally is a quiche Lorraine, which is a savory dish that features egg custard baked in a flaky pie crust, filled with crispy bacon, Gruyere cheese, and caramelized onions with a Mornay sauce, and it comes with a side of fresh berries topped with a lavender honey drizzle. Then we have the Goblet Noir down the dark side alley. This restaurant is an older little inn that is a popular hangout spot for dark witches and wizards away from Ministry eyes, that has a menu of the Alchemist platter, which has smoked sausage, potato and cheese pierogies, tangy pickled eggs, vibrant marinated beets, savory caramelized onions, and a warm pretzel served with zesty German mustard and cheese fondue. There will also be a vegan lentil stew, which has tender lentils, savory vegan bacon, vibrant root vegetables, and is served with artisan bread. Finally, for the confirmed restaurants is Bar Moonshine. This is more of an American-themed wizarding setting that is a popular hangout spot for American witchers and wizards within Paris. And the only confirmed item is Fleur 75, a drink that contains gin, elderflower liqueur, zesty lemon juice, and simple syrup added to a flute of sparkling wine. The land overall looks super cool and just like the other Wizarding World lands, with the movie-accurate streets of Paris and traveling into the movie-accurate ride through the British Ministry. The ride does look super cool and fun with a good story and phenomenal queue. The show sounds like it will be a combination of everything Universal has done thus far with Bourne, DreamWorks, and many others. The land as a whole just sounds awesome. The wands look great, I would probably buy at least 4 of them along with the other pieces of merch. The food also looks good, and I'm super excited to try the butterbeer crepe. My problem with the land is there is a major continuity error to me. We've never been shown that flu powder and flu travel can travel through time. I don't know why, but that just bugs me. Also, this is probably the least unique land. And what I mean by that is we've seen 2 other Potter lands in Orlando and many more at Universals around the world. So we've seen something like this before. Although the area is fresh, we know that we're going to be getting a movie-accurate representation of Posh Cachet that we will be blown away by. But we haven't seen anything like Celestial Park, this version of the Isle of Berk, or Darkmoor anywhere before. Super Nintendo World will also suffer from the same thing as Posh Cachet, with it being elsewhere in the world. Yet, it will still be mind-blowing. Finally, we have How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. This land will be Berk 2.5. It is going to be after the events of the second movie where Stoic has passed on, but before the third movie where the Berkians have been chased from Berk by Grimmel. This is going to be the dragon paradise that we will have a chance to experience. There will be 4 attractions in the land. The first is Dragon Racers Rally. This is a Gerstlauer Skyfly flat ride with the story that you will be able to practice barrel rolls on a Dragon Rider trainer with Snotlout and Astrid from the series. Then we have Fire Drill, which is a mock splash battle where Roughnut and Toughnut have changed Berk's fire school into a crazy boat battle where 2 teams try to soak each other and hit the over 130 moving targets that can be found throughout the ride. Up at the top of the land is the Untrainable Dragon live stage show. In this show, a new dragon has arrived at Berk, and the villagers, including Hiccup, Astrid, and Gobber, have to try and train it. The show will also combine the best aspects of the other shows, like Born with the screen and physical set integration, and DreamWorks Celebration with the projection effects that wrap around the theater and the projections on smoke. The highlight of the show is supposed to be the moment when a 26-foot wide Toothless figure flies over the audience. The final major attraction is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. This is a family multi-launch coaster built by Intamin and will take guests all around Berk. The story of the ride is that Hiccup has invented a machine to allow guests to fly without actually jumping on a dragon. But Toothless doesn't like the machine. And once you pull into Hiccup's workshop, he attempts to attach the wings. But Toothless starts the mechanism before the wings are attached, and riders are taken on a wild ride around Berk instead of a calm one. There are also 2 smaller attractions within the land. The first is the Viking Training Camp. This is a small kids' play area and is meant for kids to explore and learn about the different dragon classes, and is hosted by Fishlegs from the series. The other sub-attraction in the land is the Meet and Greets. Guests will be able to visit the Haddock Paddock and meet both Hiccup and Toothless. Throughout the land, Astrid and her dragon Stormfly will be roaming around, as well as Roughnut and Toughnut. Then, if you head over to the Forge, you will be able to meet Gobber and his dragon, Grump. Most of the shopping options have yet to be announced, but we do know the candy shop will be called How to Treat Your Dragon. Finally, we have the dining experiences. First up is the Mead Hall. This is the central dining location seen in the movies where dragons and Vikings come to feast on a variety of food items. The hall will be a movie-accurate representation like the rest of Berk, with massive doors and vaulted ceilings. The menu will include the Nordic Harvest Salad, which has kale, arugula, red cabbage, ancient grains, blueberries, radishes, apples, trail mix, and raspberry walnut vinaigrette. Another option is the Berserker's Meatballs, which are Swedish meatballs, onion gravy, lingonberry jam, smashed root vegetables. Then we have Hiccup's Grilled Salmon, which is pastrami seasoned salmon, herb garlic potatoes, roasted carrots, cipollini onions, and dill fennel sauce. Then there's Gobber the Belch's Turkey Wing, which has roasted turkey wings, herb garlic potatoes, roasted carrots, cipollini onions, and wild berry barbecue sauce. Then there's the Hooligan's Sausage Links, which has smoked sausage links, herb garlic potatoes, roasted carrots, cipollini onions, and wild berry barbecue sauce. Then there's the Thawfest Platter, which has wild berry barbecue glazed chicken drumsticks, grilled salmon, sausage links, roasted carrots, cipollini onions, Nordic fries, and is served with some side sauce. Then we have Valka's Vegan Burger, which is an ancient grains patty with mushrooms and leeks, smoked berry aioli, arugula, pickled cucumbers, pumpernickel Kaiser bun, served with Nordic fries. Finally is the Sullen Sea Sandwich, which has salmon, pickled cucumbers, horseradish dill cream fraiche, pumpernickel Kaiser bun, ancient grains, and sun-dried berries. For desserts, we have Stormfly's Catch of the Day, which is a chocolate mousse fish nestled atop a bed of colorful crispy rice cereal. There is also a sweet drink called Yak Nog. Then we have Spitfire Grill, which is one of the more quick-serve dining locations that is located within the bustling market and will serve a variety of hearty meals where the meats are flame-seared by an unseen dragon cook. The menu will include a variety of bowls, such as Stoic Steak Bowl, which has sticky rice, tenderloin steak, roasted balsamic mushrooms, sweet potato hash, manchego cheese, and horseradish sauce. There's Hiccup Salmon Bowl that has ancient grains, grilled citrus salmon, jicama slaw, blistered cherry tomatoes, feta cheese, and avocado crema. We have Meat Lug's Chicken Bowl that has ancient grains, harissa spiced chicken, oven roasted Brussels sprouts, bell pepper harissa, smoked cheddar, and paprika dressing. Then there's Astrid's Shrimp Bowl that has sticky rice, tropical barbecue shrimp, grilled tahine corn, charred broccoli, shaved parmesan, and a raspberry vinaigrette. Finally is Valka's Vegan Bowl that has kale spring mix blend, bean salad, pineapple salsa, candied beets, vegan feta, and mango and mint vinaigrette. The final location is Hooligan's Grog and Gruel. This is where dragon riders can stop after a full day of racing for fun snacks. There has been no menu released yet. The Isle of Berk looks like an absolutely amazing land. This looks like it has been ripped straight out of the movies, and unlike Potter, we haven't seen a How to Train Your Dragon land in the States, so it's something fresh and new. The attractions all look fun. The Untrainable Dragon looks like the only one that will be mind-blowing, but the other attractions look very fun. The food all sounds delicious, and the fact that we have dragons both roaming the land and even flying above the land is going to be so awesome. Recently, we've seen a new animatronic baby dragon meet and greet testing in a back-of-house area. This appears to use a type of robot quadruped that has actually been used by Universal before. A more basic but still cute concept was implemented just outside of Twosome Chocolate Emporium during the pandemic times. The little robotic dog's name was Latte. I had the pleasure of meeting Latte when he was present, and it was very cute. And this Dart, which is the dragon's name, experience should be even cuter. This land does suffer from some continuity errors, though. The land is supposed to be set in between How to Train Your Dragons 2 and 3, but the baby dragon being shown wasn't even born until well after the third movie. There will also be a Snow Wraith dragon that is near Spitfire Grill that was shown in Dragon's Race to the Edge show on Netflix. But the dragon was so wild and untrainable it stayed on the snowy island where it lived and was never brought back to Berk. So it's weird that he's in the land. With that being said, this is still my second most anticipated land of the whole park, just behind Dark Universe. But those are the lands of Epic Universe. Each land is going to be capped by a portal entry, and these portals are just so incredibly detailed. The next portion of the video is going to be the final segment, and if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. Because, yeah, this was a long one. The script for this was close to 6,700 words. But this portion is going to be more educated guesses and opinions of things than stuff the park has officially announced. So let's start with the ticket options. We know vacation packages have been released, and so have single-day tickets for annual pass holders. I would imagine and hope that some form of multi-day ticket, even if it was capped at like 3 or 4 days, should hopefully be announced for opening, or maybe it comes a month or so after opening. We know annual passes won't be available when the park opens, but I could definitely see them becoming available starting in January of 2026. Here's why I think this is going to happen. The first 2 to 3 months will be slammed. Like, I am confident that it is going to be just absolutely packed with tourists locals, everyone. But then I think the park is going to, around September maybe, start to fall into the normal crowd calendar, especially with no annual pass holders. And obviously there's going to be no Halloween Horror Nights event at the park in its opening year. So there's nothing to draw people there besides the new park. I mean, yes, it's going to be a new park, but September is really around when people start getting back into school and when the parks start to rely on annual pass holders again. So I still think it's going to be busier than the legacy parks, but I think it will start to die down and then start to flow with the regular parks. Then before Christmas, I think it's going to get quiet, like the rest of the parks. And then the week after Christmas, it's going to be absolutely slammed. Like, it's going to be probably as busy, if not busier, than when the park opens. Because it's insane how busy it gets after Christmas. But then, after the first week of January, it should drop down again. And that's when I could see annual passes start being implemented. Like, after the holiday crowds have finished, maybe they go on sale at, like, the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, like that. The last week of 2025, first week of 2026 time frame. I could see that happening. That's when they'll start selling them, but maybe they're not active until, like, halfway through January, beginning of February, something like that. And maybe it's only Premier Passes that have the option to add Epic at first, which could, make it a more desirable item or something. I don't know. But I think we will get annual passes after the first 6 months. As for the park itself, I definitely think this is going to be one of the best theme parks in America. Probably up there with the top of the world. I don't know if it can beat Phantasialand or some of the Asia parks like Tokyo Disney Sea, but it's going to be up there. The park appears to be very technologically advanced and have a lot of high-tech and high-quality attractions that should push the park over the top when it's coupled with the park's amazing-looking theming. One of the technological innovations I believe that will be implemented is a more ticketless system. So obviously you still have to purchase your tickets online, but I have a feeling there will either be machines, and it will probably also be available in the app for guests to sync their face to their ticket before they get to the park. So that way they can just walk up to the front entrance, look at the facial recognition system, and it'll let them in like they've been testing at Islands of Adventure for pass holders recently. Then we have the music, which should also help the park, because if the music is done right, especially in Celestial Park, it can help create a very emotional atmosphere. But a lot of people have been saying, oh, Epic Universe is going to blow Disney away. It's going to push Universal up over Disney's crowds. I don't think so. The locals may be more inclined to go to Universal, especially with Disney taking forever to do, anything. I mean, it will probably be at least another 5 years before we even get Dino Land reopened in Animal Kingdom as the Tropical Americas. But I think the tourists will still go to Disney. These people that have never been there before or haven't been in forever, they hear about the castle, they know about the castle, the classic attractions, all 4 parks, la-di-da-di-da. They just want to go there and they want to experience it with their family. They don't care that it's expensive. They don't care that, they don't offer great annual pass benefits or the rides are, falling apart. They're just like, oh, my friends went to Disney, so I gotta go too. It's not about the park. It's not about the financial standpoint. It's not about the rides like it is for us locals. It's about it's about the experience. It's all about the experience for them. And even people that are here that don't come from overseas, but they live in maybe Texas or more near New York or in Ohio, they have Cedar Point, Kings Island, Six Flags Fiesta and over Texas, Six Flags Darien Lake, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, all that. Those are not high theme parks at all. So they want to go to Disney to really experience what high theming is. So even with Epic Universe opening, a ton of tourists are going to be coming to Orlando. A ton of first-timers and a ton of people that have not been in years. So they're going to do Epic Universe. They're going to do Universal. They're going to experience it and see what it's all about. See if they want to return. But they're also going to do Disney, because if they're first timers or again haven't been there in a while, they're going to want to do it all. With all that being said, with this very long video finally coming to an end, Epic Universe just looks phenomenal. I can't wait to get to experience it. Every ride looks phenomenal. All the food looks delicious. All the theming looks immaculate. The park should be the success Universal is looking for, and will definitely be a winner among the locals. But I hope you all have enjoyed this video, and we'll see you all next time on another adventure.